Hi all, and welcome to this introduction to tin whistle lesson for this very small but mighty instrument, the tin whistle. My name's Debbie and I am the tin whistle player in a group called Keltry, and I have been asked for some time now to put together some tutorials to help people navigate this instrument. So if you're looking to start from absolute basics, so picking up the tin whistle for the first time, this is the perfect lesson for you. So the aims of this lesson is to cover things like hand positioning. We're going to work on the scale, both the lower and the higher octave, and then we're going to finish off the lesson with just some interesting exercises that you can do just to jazz that scale up a little bit and make it more interesting and fun to play. And then from there, the next lesson, we're going to be going straight into tunes. So do take your time with learning the basics and the foundation that I'm going to cover today. Pause the video, really work on kind of perfecting those notes as I go through and as I discuss different nuances to the instrument. But let's work on our hand positioning first. We want to ensure that our strong hand, so our writing hand, goes to the bottom of our tin whistle. So in my case, my strong hand is my right hand. So I'm going to just grasp the bottom of the tin whistle with my right hand, and then my left hand is going to play the top notes. Okay, so notice there's six holes. Our thumbs are anchored to the back of the tin whistle, and then we'll have our three middle fingers playing the first three notes, and our thumb then goes, of our bass hand, our bottom hand, goes behind the fourth note, and we are going to then use the next three fingers for the bottom three notes. Now we use the pads of our fingers, okay, so this nice straight part of the tip of your finger, we want to press that down in the hole, okay, and whenever you're getting started, you can be quite firm and press those down, almost so that you have kind of like, can you see that? Oh, there it is, a little dot. Obviously, as you get familiar with the instrument, you don't need to press down as firmly, but do make sure that you're getting those holes or those fingers placed accurately across those holes, and that's going to ensure that you don't get any kind of squeaks as you're playing, or you're just not hitting that note correctly, and that will help ensure that if those pads are in place and if you're getting that little circle on your finger, that's a good indication that you've got the hole completely covered. Okay, we are going to start by practicing now our scale. So starting on the D scale, we are going to work from the top note down, just because it's an easier way to approach this. So first note on the top of the tin whistle, if you hold your thumb to the back and first finger on, this is a B, so B note, then the next finger on is A, and then G. To play these notes, all it requires is a very soft amount of air, so like minimal blowing through the tin whistle, very soft at this stage. So we're going to practice that B note, first finger on. Okay, nice and light, doesn't need much air there. Same again with your A, two fingers on. Okay, nice and soft. If you feel that you're hearing this note, like it's going to breaking point, then just blow softer again until you get that nice sweet A sound. Okay, and then third finger on. Okay, press down. For G, now we're going to go to F, so bottom hand, thumb behind the F hole, first finger on. Nice and soft, even softer for the lower E. E, bottom finger on for low D, and this is the softest of all of the notes. Really, really a soft amount or a light amount of blowing into the tin whistle here. Perfect. So take your time, pause the video, and perfect those notes as you go up and down the scale. Okay, so now we have B, A, G, F, E, D. I want to work up the way for our D scale. So bottom D, and we're going to lift one finger off at a time, and we're going to work up those notes, okay? So starting on bottom D. Perfect. Okay, we need 2 more notes to finish this scale. That includes C sharp and a high D. So we have a low D, now we need the high D. So C sharp is all fingers off on the tin whistle. So we need to make sure that those thumbs, and this is where the thumbs being in position is really, really important. So obviously the tin whistle is being held in your mouth, and then you have your 2 thumbs to the back. Okay, what we can also do, however, if you want a little bit more stabilization just at this very early stage, is you can use your pinky finger off your bottom. I did say that we'd discuss the baby finger. You can use our pinky finger just at the very bottom to hold that note. And then high D is all fingers on. Take off the top finger and blow stronger. Okay, now when I say blow stronger, it just is a little marginally stronger from that lower bottom D note. So you can practice between the and then a little bit stronger for. Okay, so it really just takes a little bit of time and practice to get the pitch right between those 2 notes. So I do recommend taking time to go from bottom D to high D and, you know, feel the difference between those 2 notes and just kind of exactly where your tin whistle, where that balance lies. So take your time to practice those 2 notes. One thing that I would say, however, is high D should have the top finger off. We don't want to play high D with the top finger on. That does flatten the note. It's marginal difference between having that top finger off and top finger on. So a lot of people seem to play high D with the top finger on. I want to ensure that you're just not adding any bad habits from the very start. So make sure that your top finger is off and that you get the proper high D sound. If the top finger goes on, it does flatten the note. Maybe you'll hear it going. So that's just the difference between the 2 notes. It is marginal, but it can be heard. So just make sure that you always have that nice, crisp, bright note from the very, very start. Good habits from the start. Okay, so now we're going to practice doing our lower octave. I want to now practice the 2nd octave or the higher octave. And to do that, it's exactly the same as your lower octave, only you're going to blow stronger, okay, going up these notes. And again, it just takes time to practice getting the right level of airflow through your tin whistle and what that should sound like. So starting on high E, we've already done our high D. Now we're going to go to high E, same finger position as the low E, but we're going to blow a little bit stronger. Up to high F, stronger again. High G. Off again to high A. And off to high B. And out of all of these notes, that high B is the one that will require the most or the strongest amount of blowing there. So practice again, just working on those notes and trying to get what's right for your tin whistle, and get used to your tin whistle and the little nuances of it. So working on that scale, going up and down. For the higher octave, let's practice going from high D up to that high B note. High D, high E, F, G, A, high B. Okay, so the airflow that's required for high B, in contrast to low D, there's going to be quite a significant difference between those 2 notes in terms of what it requires. The output for high B is quite a lot. and then low D, you need to really shift back and blow really softly for that note to go from high B to low D. Okay, so play around with that and see the difference between all of those notes, and get familiar with the instrument. And that is the D scale. So the last thing I want to do now is just to leave you with something a little bit more fun to play. So this is going to be an exercise using the D scale, but it's just going to make it a little bit more interesting because not many people enjoy working on the scale. So this is a way of working on the scale but making it sound a little bit more fun. So this exercise, we're going to play the D scale the whole way up to high D, but after each note we're going to return to bottom D. So this is how it should sound once you get it up to speed. And then we're going to go back down the scale, and this time we're going to return to high D each time. Okay, so give that a go. We're going to go from bottom D up to high D, returning to bottom D each time, nice and slow. Perfect. And then back down. It's a super wee exercise, one I use all of the time whenever I'm warming up, if I have a gig or if I'm just sitting down to practice a little bit. It's a good one to warm up the fingers before you start playing into some tunes. So handy to have in the kit bag, and yeah, use this tutorial to really drill down into those notes and perfect the sound of each of your notes before you really delve into tunes. Get familiar with the lower and the higher octave. If you have any questions, just feel free to drop them below. Be sure, to like and subscribe for more of these videos that are coming through. But yeah, enjoy and happy whistling. Bye guys.